Hello and welcome to another update video about Bitcoin. So Bitcoin is still, in my opinion, in this triangle. Nothing has changed. In fact, I think the scenario that I gave you in the previous video is pretty much working out for now. I gave you the option that we could consider this as a triangle, and in this triangle I told you in the previous video that it would be likely that we're here in this A, B, C, D, E pattern that we would expect. I think when I made the last video, we were just coming down here, and I told you we will now see with a high likelihood a recovery in a wave E. Now that has happened. That could be finished at any time now. Primarily, I would think we would go a bit higher, but you have here a bit of a resistance level at 21.3k, above which the price is currently not able to get, indicating some kind of weakness in the chart anyway. But one possibility is here this triangle, and I explained it all in detail in the previous video. No change to scenario. The other possibility was, and in that triangle scenario, the wave 4 would finish where the wave, where the wave E is, and would then move down further. The other scenario would be that we are still that we have completed already the wave 4, and that we have made here something like an A, B, C running flat pattern, and we are already in the impulsive move down, which I would expect after the breakout of the triangle as well. But it's just a different wave pattern. It leads to slightly different wave counts, but it would not change the overall scenario. Also here, I told you, as soon as we hit support, we will probably see a counter reaction that would also work out quite well with this 1-2 pattern, 1-2, and then down the 3, 4 up, and 5 down. So primarily, I still expect lower prices, but we are, and I have to say that very clearly as well, we are now in price ranges where we can really say very clearly this is the area where Bitcoin could now at any point in time start a breakout exercise, or could try to break out to the upside, and this could then lead to new all-time highs. But we don't see the confirmation yet. At the moment, this is still, for me, fairly likely that we will dip one more time. And should we lose the 20k level, then we are probably going down to around about 17k. That would be the 78.6% Fibonacci retracement level. So no change to the Elliott Wave count from the previous video. Both main scenarios that I'm following here are actually pointing further to the downside. I would consider a breakout only if we move above, in the first instance, above 23.3k. That is when we would consider it. And then we need to take it serious then. What I want to do in this video is take a closer look at the indicators, which I normally don't cover that much, because the indicators are just a mathematical equation, or they relate to the price. So in the end, you don't really get the holy grail here. However, there are a few interesting things we want to highlight. Looking at the RSI, on the daily, obviously we are deeply in the oversold range. Now that for now shows us that we are just still in a downtrend. The bulls haven't started yet. But what I find quite interesting on the daily chart is especially the MACD, where since May 21, we've actually made constantly here higher highs on the MACD line. So the MACD line has made higher highs while we've actually made we've made higher lows on the MACD, but we've made lower lows on the price chart. Whereas you can see on the MACD down here, you have a very clear bullish divergence, and this is a good sign on the daily chart. So this is good. What we can see on the 8-hour chart is that we have now the beginning of momentum to the upside. So the MACD, if I zoom in again a bit, because we don't need the longer time frame again, but you can see that here on the 8-hour chart, the MACD is starting to generate bullish momentum. Now, it's not confirmed yet, but as soon as you see here this continuing and getting into the bullish range, now that could of course translate over to the daily, coupled with this bullish divergence that we see, and then possibly a reversal to the upside here on the MACD on the daily, this could certainly bring the bullish momentum we need to break out to the upside. And what is always very relevant, and I highlighted it many times before, is the 4-day chart. And on the 4-day chart, in my opinion, we have an even clearer bullish divergence on the MACD. Here you can see that, yeah. So that is highly, highly relevant. It is still going down and building negative momentum for now, which is why I think the downtrend isn't finished yet. But as soon as we see this turn to the upside again, either on the MACD or here on the ADX, yeah, as soon as you start to see these lines get closer together, the red line and the green line on the 4-day chart, big highlight that the overall downtrend could be over and that we could see a momentum shift. So I'm observing these all the times in the background. One more thing that I find really, really interesting is on the RSI on the 4-day chart, that, you know, we've only had a few times really that we broke below the 30 level on the RSI. And I think we've got the third lowest level, yeah, on the 4-day chart on the RSI. And in these periods, you've always seen a reversal. You know, it doesn't mean it needs to happen tomorrow. We've been lower before on the 4-day RSI, but we haven't been lower before on the weekly RSI. And that is another highlight here. And also here, the MACD bullish divergence down here. So there are things that are now getting really interesting. And as soon as we have price action, yeah, going up, and we have the indicators turn to the upside, coupled with those bullish divergences, I mean, and a 5-wave move to the upside, yeah, an impulse, honestly, then we have all the puzzle pieces we need to be more confident about a breakout to the upside. What makes me still skeptical is on the monthly chart, and I mentioned that many times before, it is this monthly MACD, which is on the long term here still way too high, yeah, here. I mean, this doesn't look good. And the ADX on the monthly has really only recently crossed bearish. This is also something we need to understand, which is not a positive sign. On the other hand, when you start to see the 4-day turn to the upside, it will also positively influence the monthly. But it is still something that is sort of a bit of a flaw on this chart. But overall, it's all starting to look interesting. Again, the indicators start to look good as well, but we now need to see bullish price action. And as long as I don't see this bullish price action, my view remains that we will go still lower, and also the Elliott Wave count would actually suggest it. But please understand that as soon as we see now at any point in time, and we don't necessarily need that 5th wave down, because we can count it differently as well if we have to, because we have basically come down far enough. As soon as we see this turn around to the upside, it could mean the bulls are running, and then I'll make you aware on this channel. So hopefully you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment and subscribe. And if you really like the content, please check out the channel membership. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye-bye.